This is a method that you can use to convert between fractions, decimals and percentages. So first of all, you have to learn these 4 facts, and you also need to know that a half is 50%, which is 0.5. So these 4, when you're asked to convert between any of these, it's going to be one of them. So you've got to use, so you either times by 100 or divide by 100, or you look at the place value, or you do top divided by bottom. So let's say we've got 3/4, which is a fraction, and we're asked to change that to a percentage. So you have to use one of these. Now, if we look here, we've got a half, which is a fraction. That is 50%. So is it going to be multiplied by 100, or is it divided by 100, or are we looking at the place value, or is it top divided by bottom? It can't be place value because that's when you have a decimal and you're looking at the position of the numbers. Is it increasing 100 times? So if you got half a cake and then you got 50 cakes, half times 100, yeah, that's 50. So it's actually that one. So you multiply by 100. So you know that 3/4, you times it by 100 to change it into a percentage. So if you do 300 divided by 4, you can simplify the fraction if you want to. That gives you 75%. So what happened there, it was in the question, got a fraction, had to change it to a percentage, and I know it's going to be one of these 4, so I went through them and I realized that it's times 100. So the good thing with this is if you do forget in an exam which one it is, you can actually remember it if you learn these 3. Let's try another one. So if you've got 0.04, that's a decimal. Let's say you're changing that to a fraction. So if you go back to the top, which one is it going to be? So 0.04 to a fraction. Okay. If you times it by 100 or you divide it by 100, it's not going to turn into a fraction. Top divided by bottom, well, you can't do that, it's not a fraction, so it has to be place value. Now, this means that's units, so you haven't got any units. That's tenths, you haven't got any tenths, and that's hundredths, so you've got 4, so it's 4 over 100. Let's do another one. So let's say if you've got 32%, and you have to change that to a decimal. Okay, so 32% into a decimal. Now let's have a look. Percentage to decimal. So 50 is becoming a half. It's got a lot smaller, so it's going to be divided by 100. So if you divide 32 by 100, it's 0.32. So that is how you change a percentage to a decimal. So just to summarize, you've got 4 options to choose from, and if you remember these facts, it'll make it a lot easier if you do forget what to do. So let's do another one over here. So if you've got 4/5, that's a fraction. If you have to change that to a percentage, so if you go back, a fraction to percentage, you times it by 100. So it's quite straightforward. So that's 80%. Let's do a fraction to a decimal. So say if you've got 1/8. So this one, if you look at a fraction, we got a fraction here, half is 0.5. So it's not going to be times by 100 or divided by 100, because a half and 0.5, you haven't increased it or decreased it. It can't be place value because it's fraction, you've got a fraction, so it's top divided by bottom, so you've got to do 1 divided by 8. This is where you can use your bus stop method. So it's 1/8 is 0.125.